Everybody.
So,
Okay. So hello, everybody. I guess a win for the week is despite moving country and working and finishing and selling car, I've done all the workouts, I've done all my workshops, and I managed to accomplish everything.
fuck yeah, dude.
Um,
Give a round of
so
applause.
kind
God
of-
damn it.
Yeah, so kind of proud of that. And a lesson is always when I'm moving country, I am learning that we have too much things that we should get rid of.
You said what?
That each time when I'm moving country, I'm realizing how many things we have that we don't need in life, you know? We could live out of one box or one suitcase, but we just have so many things that they're super unnecessary in life. Yeah.
Get rid of that shit. Yeah. Get rid of that. Round of applause. That's some good lessons. That's a good wins. Marianne Pino, what you up to, champ?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? I want
Yeah,
to
you're
check
perfect.
first. Okay, great. I guess one win this week is actually having to do with food. I realized, well, no, I've always liked salads, but I like salads a lot for lunch. I feel a lot energized, and it just was something new I learned about my body. It was like, hey, this is great. You should have something in midday full of vegetables and protein, and it'll help you for the rest of your day.
That's
And
awesome.
you don't get sleepy later. And I guess a lesson for me is just, I guess it kind of has to do with people, and it's like you get to choose who you get to give power to somebody. And if somebody's messing up with your peace, like that is your cue to just let them go and not keep them in your life.
Well said, well said. Give her a round of applause for those words. That is very powerful. Very powerful. And those are lessons we all need to work more on, for sure. Celia, what do we got, champ lady?
Yes. A win for the week is that I've started procrastinating less, which I'm not a big fan of, but I do a lot. Yeah, so I did my work when I needed to and feel great about it. And a lesson.
Give a round of applause, yeah, damn it. Procrastination is a real thing for some of us. That's beautiful.
A lesson is that things don't always go the way you plan.
That's a good lesson. That's a good lesson.
And you just have to accept it.
Yes, that's awesome. Cassie, what do we got, champ lady? Give us a win and a lesson.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Cassie.
Casey,
Casey.
yes. Hi. So when is that I actually do the workouts every day? That is actually that's the win, that I actually
Awesome.
do them, and I do post, and I think posting keeps me motivated because it makes me accountable. It makes people make me accountable. A lesson I've learned, I need to breathe, like breathing during exercise so I don't pass out. But other than that,
Yeah, that
and
one is
also-
big, yeah.
But
That one is
other
big.
than
Breathing
that,
is so important. We
Important.
neglect it like crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. But yeah, it's going good.
Rock solid. Give her a round of applause. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Edelinda, what do we got, champ lady?
My win is I joined a gym, so I'm doing more cardio workouts and getting more steps in. And then as far as lessons, a couple of lessons. You need to get curious about why you're resisting and procrastinating.
Big one.
And I have to be less idealistic and more realistic about my goals. Really ask myself, am I really going to accomplish that? And to be compassionate if you don't meet your goals, compassionate with yourself.
Yeah, right. We have this thing when we plan for the future, we usually expect an ideal, but then when we look back to when we look into the past, we rationalize our behavior, right? Yeah, but I did that because of blah blah blah. But then when we look into the future, we're planning it like the ideal. It's like everything is gonna flow super. It's like it's gonna be like this and this and this. It's like nah, that's not how things goes. But that's awesome. Give it in a round of applause, everyone. That's beautiful. Diane, talk to us.
So the win for the week is that I have a lot. It's interesting. A piece of what everyone else is going through, I'm also going through because I'm in the process of moving. School has started. I'm trying to put a schedule together. And I actually did that this week. Put a schedule together that incorporates study and workout, stretch, prayer and meditation, recreation. I'm built in some time for if things don't go the way that they're supposed to. If I don't get up on time, if I go to bed late, there's flexibility in the schedule so that if I make a mistake, I don't have to trash the whole day. I can make adjustments with.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of wait, something happened with your sound? Say the last part again. Can't hear you. Why can't you? Can you guys hear me?
Okay, yeah, that was my fault. I accidentally went back on mute. What were you gonna say, Coach?
I didn't hear the last part. Could you repeat that, please?
I said that I've learned to build flexibility into my schedule so that if I get up late, let's say I'm supposed to get up at everything's supposed to kick off at 6:30, but I don't get up until 7:30. Then I used to start off the day with this sense of guilt because I'm already behind the 8 ball. But I've learned to build flexibility into my schedule so that if the unexpected happens, I can still get back on track and I don't feel guilty because everything has gone off. Everything's gone off schedule. The last thing I need to do is actually get my dance workouts into my schedule. I actually do the dance workouts, but the morning stretches are there. That is an absolute game changer. I practically do ballet in bed before I get up in the morning, and it's absolutely amazing. So thank you for that.
I appreciate you.
That's from you, yeah, 100%. And the lesson is just, you know, if there's something in your heart that you know that you were born to do, even if it's crazy, ignore everybody. There's a book that says ignore everybody, and that is such good advice because the universe, I say God, some people say the universe, is not speaking to them, speaking to you. So if you have one person in your life that supports you in some amazing mission that you're trying to go on, then that's great. But you may not have anybody, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it's in your heart, go for it. Ignore everybody. That's the lesson.
That's powerful. Round of applause for that. God damn it, that's beautiful. Anita, talk to us, champ lady. What's going on your end of the world? Labor, right?
Yes, Labor Day holiday. Kids are home. They started school last week, so it's just been busy. But the wins for me is even though it's gotten a busier again since kids are starting school, I've kept my consistent routine of moving and walking and doing the workouts. So
That's
I just want to
beautiful.
keep.
Give a round. Straight away. That's beautiful.
And the lesson I learned will go along with what my last friend just said. You know, if you love something, don't stop it, right? So I think I have the habit of when I need to get myself together, I maybe cut out going social dancing because I need to focus on, you know, getting something done in the house. But then I don't need to do that. I need to just balance it, right? I'm just not completely cut it out. So that's the lesson is balance, have more balance. Don't cut out. The answer is not cutting out what you love because then you'll be resentful and maybe that's not going to make you feel like you're winning.
Yeah. Facts. Round of applause for that. That's beautiful. Raluca, Sahara, do you guys have anything to share? I want to win and a lesson. Meanwhile, I want more blue.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
So my win was doing my workouts even if I was tired or having headaches or being partying.
Yeah.
And
Wait. Was that your? Sorry, say that again.
so my wins were was doing my workouts even if I was tired or having a headache or being partying.
That's beautiful. That is awesome. That's awesome.
And
What's your lesson?
my lesson is that I need to do the things that I think they are right for me and not what other people think is right for me.
Yeah. I love that everyone is saying that, because that is what I want to talk to you guys about today. And I call it, wait, before we jump into that, let me just share a lesson. I'm, to make a long story short, I'm out walking essentially, and I live in Western Africa. For you guys who do not know, there's very, very little criminality where I live because it's such a small fucking island. However, I walked on a street, a normal street, nighttime, and two guys comes up to me, blah blah blah. They ask about money, and my mistake was that I answered in our native language that I speak now. Now I speak Creole. So I answered them in Creole, and then I just realized how fucked I am. I just realized that it's hard for me now to talk myself out of it. Like, I'm so deep into their funnel, right? And then we go, I sit down, like I haven't given them money or anything yet. And then there's a moment when I sit down and I ask, because then they start to explain their story. Because I'm like, hey, would you want money? But like, what's your story? Why would I give you money? Tell me, like, convince me. Essentially, like, tell me, why would I give you money? I work. What did you guys do today? I work 16 hours. And I say this in a friendly way, right? And we sit down and we talk and we realize that, and then they say, like, one guy sat in prison for 7 years, and the other one sat in prison for 10 years. And I'm me, you know what I mean? It's like, you're asking me for money. Now you're telling me that you went to prison. Now I want to know more. Like, I'm curious like that. I'm not gonna like, oh no, like you shouldn't ask. Fuck that. Like, we're having a moment right now. So I asked the guy who's been in prison for 10 years. And I'm like, guys, what did you go to prison to? He just looks me straight. We're sitting like this distance. He looks me straight in my eyes and he goes, homicide. He looked me straight in the eyes. And I'm just there. And I look him straight in the eyes also, like I don't flinch. I'm aware he's gonna say something wild, right? So I just look him in the eyes and I'm like, all right, what happened? Like, tell me more. And then his friend behind him, or his friend is behind me, he tells me, or he tells him in Creole, but he says it in slang Creole. That's how I know it's real, because he didn't talk to me. He spoke to his friend. He's like, "Oh, like you shouldn't talk about this in the streets." And then he friends says, "It's like, no, but like this is my story. Like this is my truth. Like I gotta tell my truth." And then he shows me like scars. He had a lot of scars on his arms. He was in a knife fight with a guy, and then he took the knife and he stabbed the guy in the neck. That essentially ended up in homicide, right? Like, I don't know the backstory of the whole thing. Point being, he could have just lied, right? He could have just lied. But there is a power to what I like to call living in your truth. Because when you're doing that, there is a sense of ownership. Because as this story continues, we keep on talking, right? Like, I don't know you. Like, I'm not gonna judge you. You went to jail, got it. Homicide or not. But as far as I understand, your time is done. So you have done what you're supposed to be doing. Yes, isn't that why we have jail? Now people come out of jail and you get a second chance. Isn't that the whole point with going to jail, right? So we there and we keep on talking, and then like very quickly we have this conversation of like, but hey, like you can't repair the past. You can only move forward. it's impossible, right? Like past is past, you can only move forward. And with all of this said, right, like I wanted this conversation to be, or this talk today to be about living in your truth. And before I talk about, like, but if you get this right and if you get this wrong, it's like, what does that mean to you guys? Because this is really on top of mind, right? Like it was 3 or 4 people that said that the lesson is that you need to be you. So write in the chat, what does it mean to live in your truth? And David, if you could read it out loud, would be amazing. If you're here with us.
I'll do my best.
What does it mean, guys? So type in the chat. What does it mean to live your truth?
Let's see here what comes in. Anita say, be you. Do not compromise who you are or what you love or stand for to make anyone else happy. Diane says, consistency inside out. Celia says, don't sacrifice your dreams so others can realize theirs. Powerful. Raluca says, to do the stuff that you think are right and be okay with the consequences. Mm.
Isn't that something that guy did, right? He's living in his truth. What more do we get?
Comes some more here. Don't deny yourself what you know in your heart, mind, and soul. Honor your uniqueness. Very well said. Be who you are, your authentic self in every environment.
Exactly. And there's this saying, right? Like one of the biggest mistakes people are doing is that they're trying to convince their mind over what the heart knows is right. You're very focused on like convincing your mind, like this is the right thing, this is the right thing. But no, your heart knows what is right. So what are you doing? Like you're listening to the wrong voice. But there is a sense of own, like, so if you do get this thing right, yeah, like if you do get it right and you really start to live in your truth, there is a sense of ownership. And I wanted to share this story, like, because I don't know what the fuck that guy had been through, right? But I don't judge him. I don't know you. And I can only imagine that being him, you got to constantly be judged over the things that you've done in the past. It's not easy to get a job here, much more if you convicted for homicide in the past, if you've been convicted for homicide, right? And that is something that will never get away from him. But it was very refreshing to see somebody who he owns it. He owned it straight away. Like he didn't lie. He could have said anything. He could have said theft. He could have said whatever the fuck, right? Something easier. But when you do get this thing right and you start to live in your truth, you really feel a sense of ownership. You are proactive in your life. You become more productive. You become more happy. You become untouchable. And you create what I like to call unshakable confidence, right? Because you live in your truth, right? So one of the ways to be more productive and stop procrastinating less is really to start to live in your truth, both inside and out. And now you have a few definitions of like, okay, but what is that, right? Like, what does it mean to live in your truth? But I also think that like, because if you do not get this right, you will constantly feel that life is happening to you instead of through you. It's that feeling of like you're constantly reacting. It's a sadness that is like a cloud almost over you. Like your life becomes contaminated with low energy, low frequency, low confidence, like very unsynchronized with like your highest self to a degree. And what does that mean, right? Like it's not a fucking hippie talk, but essentially it's like you're lying to yourself to such a degree that you don't know what is right or wrong, right? Like you don't know what is like, but who am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? What is happening? Like, am I supposed to do this? Like, let's say you have a dance partner, for example, and you know you're just gonna, this dance partner is a fucking crutch, right? Like, or a, yeah, exactly, Anita, you lose your identity. That's very well expressed. But let's say you have this dance partner and your dance partner is fucking holding you back. Like, you know that shit, right? But then you can walk around and deny it and not living in your truth. But yo, that's only gonna come back to you. And that might be one of the reasons why you're feeling this type of discontentment with self. Right? I'm not even sure if that's proper English. Like, do you guys understand what I mean when I say with self? Like,
I
does that make
understand you,
sense?
Sebastian.
Huh?
I
That's the most
understand,
important.
but we're best friends.
If the most important thing is that the only Swedish guy who is also my best friend and also a guy, the most important thing is that he understands. The rest of you, I hope you.
Yeah, maybe Erlinda can help out like always.
Yeah, exactly. But if it makes sense, then good, right? Like, it's really how I see it. It's like self. I think it's such a good explanation of what we're talking about. Like, you lose your identity and your awareness of self. It's like, but that sucks, and that's gonna ripple into other areas of your life. It's like, if you're that guy, you're that guy. You know what I mean? If you're that girl, you're that girl. And here is the thing with that: like, if you do get this thing wrong, there will be a sense of an imbalance inside of you, and it will ripple into other areas of your life. Like, that is for sure. There's no way around it. And getting that like unshakable confidence doesn't mean that you're constantly approaching every situation with like unshakable confidence. Not what it's about. Like, I have hesitations in things I'm doing on a fucking daily, but I don't blame anyone else because I live in my truth. I know that if I'm not impacting the amount of lives that I want to impact, it's because of me. It's not because of anyone else. Like, I know that if I, like, I don't get easily affected, right? Like, I don't get that because I know that it's because of me. Like, there's no one else to blame. Like, I'm certain of that. But I am approaching life with unshakable confidence, and it's like, I might lose people along the way. I fucking lose people like on a weekly. On a weekly, there is people that is like been in my life that is like jumping off the train, and it's cool. Like, it sucks for them. It sucks for me also for a bit, but after a while, it's just like, hey, look, I gave you a chance. I gave you a chance to join. I'm the prize in my life. I'm out with or without you. This train is leaving with or without you. I had 31 years without you. I did great. Did amazing with the car that was handed. Don't worry about me. If my head hang low, you just leave me alone. I'm gonna pick myself up, and then here we go. I'm gonna call David, and then I keep on going.
Yeah, we got some good comments here also, Sebastian.
Tell me.
Marianne is saying, I speak from experience. Not knowing who you are brings so much trouble and despair. Having a sense of self is one of the most powerful things you can do. And then Anita also shares some good things here. Absolutely understand to you then, Sebastian, that is. Being totally transparent, that has caused a major broken relationship in my life. And when I finally started to find myself again, I was fighting to prove who I am and what I stand for to that person. This caused so much conflict and toxicity in this relationship.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, I can, like, from my own experience, it's the same thing. Like, I can so much relate to that. Like, I lost myself in the process of trying to convince someone else that I was someone that I didn't even give a fuck about. Like, I didn't give a fuck about the person I was trying to create. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm creating a person that I don't give two shits about. Like, I'm me. Like, I like me. But I was so focused on trying to convince this person that, like, no. Well, yo, like, because of not being untransparent with myself. What more do we get there?
We have some things coming in here. My mom says, we can in this world by ourselves. We came in this world by ourselves. It must be. and we can leave it by ourselves. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but Sahara,
I
feel
think-
free to unmute yourself. Maybe you know, Sebastian.
I think Sahara got this.
You were saying that something along the lines of like to changing yourself for someone else and like not caring about what they think or trying to change yourself for them. So basically, like you don't got to worry about them because the only basically she says the only things you have to do is live and die. Those are the only things you actually have to do in this world. Everything else, it is what it is.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, we came in this world alone. We're gonna leave this world alone. And
Is your mother West Indian?
She's from Honduras.
She is, okay. I was gonna say my family's Caribbean, and those sound like very West Indian sentiments. I grew up hearing those things as well, so I get it.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Island brothers.
And Erlinda says this: I have found a lot of my procrastination was based on trying to do the things that were not authentically what I wanted for myself. Okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
like
if you live your truth, you will procrastinate less, right?
for sure. Because you give a fuck about less. You start to give a fuck about less, and then you start to care more about things that matters to you. It's like I have a friend that wants me to move to it's like kind of forcefully. I know he loves me, and I know he comes from a place I love, and I love him. But like he really wants me to move to Florida. But it's like, bro, nah. Like why? It's like, yeah, but you will make more money. Yeah, probably. But no, like my quality of life will go down. Have you seen where I live? Like I might just go down to the beach after this webinar. You know what I mean? It's like it takes me like if we take a 5-minute break here, I might run down to the beach, take a swim, and run back up within that time span, like literally. And it's again because I live in my truth, but there is discomfort that comes with that. That's the thing, right? The thing is that when you start to live in your own truth, there is gonna come discomfort, and most people prioritize their fear over their integrity. And that's where we fuck up. We prioritize the fear of hurting someone else, or the fear of losing this person, the fear of whatever. You fear that more, and you prioritize that more than your own integrity. And that comes with a price. And I've been there. And it sucks ass because you create a persona that you then start to live. So you become that persona. But that's not you. That's where there is this discontent of self, and there is a moment where self is like, oh, fuck this. What are we doing? Here, boom, panic attack. Here, boom, hit the wall. Like that's what happens, right? Like your self is so fucking tired of your bullshit and the person you're trying to pretend to be. So there is a reaction to your behavior, right?
I think the list that you spoke about last week or the week before that, Sebastian, like the fuck no list, that helps a lot with like practicing integrity, and yeah, according to this subject.
Yeah, for sure it does. For sure it does. And I mean, like every situation you encounter give you an opportunity to live in your truth, right? Every situation, every fucking moment, especially situations with other people. But like you have a countless amount of situations every day where you can practice now living my truth. And it's everything from picking up a book instead of being on social media. Like me, when I scroll on social media and I like unintentionally get caught there, I feel like such a fucking loser when I'm done with that. I swear, like I feel like such a fucking zero. It's like, what am I doing? like this machine just sucked me in, and I just got caught in unconsciously. It's like zoop, 40 minutes. It's like, wow, that's 40 minutes of my life that I will never get back. That's completely wasted. I don't even remember what I've seen. Like, I don't even, like, when next time you scroll, next time you put your phone down, ask yourself this question, like, what did I look at? What have I seen? Like, I seen a 5,000 fucking TikTok videos. I don't remember one of them. You know, maybe that cute dog, like that. I can remember that cute dog, but more than that, I don't remember shit. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't provide any value, it doesn't provide any substance to my life. So I'm not living in my truth, because I would much rather read a book. So it's living in truth with myself. And you got to practice these things in your home before you take them out. It's like you got to practice this, being this character in your house, in here, before you approach the world with it. Right? And like, you have to respect your integrity more than you respect your fears. Like, it's really that, and there's an ownership that comes with it, and you feel good after it, right? Like, you're really becoming this person. You're doing it until you are becoming it fully, right? That's kind of like the treat of living like that. You become a new person, which just feels, I mean, incredible, right? It feels so good doing that. It feels so good being that person, that everything else just doesn't, you don't even want to be like that. Like, let me see if I have any examples here. Like, I don't do drama, right? Like, I'm a very drama-free guy. Like, I don't do fucking drama. However, I'm single. If you're single, usually it comes with a little bit of drama, right? Especially if you're me in the past. Now, I'm very honest with the people I'm meeting. Like, if I go on a date, on like, first thing, no joke, one of the first things I say, as in like, not the first words, but during the first meeting with a woman, where I am in my life right now, I tell you, listen, I don't want a girlfriend. Like, I can't have a girlfriend right now. And it's not about if I want or not, like, I cannot, like, it's not fair for me. It's not fair for that woman. So right now I'm in a space where I need to be with myself. But with that being said, like, I still, like, you know, we're like, we can still meet, and then bam, chicka, wow, wow, whatever happens, you know what I mean? But like, no, but point being, if like, I don't get any drama, and I feel good, I feel a sense of ownership, because I'm presenting it straight away. Hey, look, these are the cards I got. This is what I can give right now. And if you're not, and if you're not comfortable with that, that's cool. Don't worry about it, right? Like, we can be, then cool, then we're friends or whatever. And if not, we don't need to be. It's completely fine, no pressure. But like, this is me at this moment. I'm working on myself, and I need to spend time with myself. And that feeling is beautiful. Like, I really enjoy coming from a place of like transparency and just being able to be me. Now, I went on a date the other week, and I didn't say it during that week or during that date. Now, nothing happened, so I have no obligation to do it, right? Like, I'm not a moral fucking God. That's not the point here. The point is not that I'm a moral police and judging, you know what I mean? Making sure that I live in my own morals. That's not the point here. The point here is that I do it for me and what I feel. And because I didn't say it to her, that bothered me. Like, that bothered my mind. Like, it bothered my mind. It's, fuck, like, why didn't I say it? Like, I should have said it for me. For me. It's not that I should have said it for her, because she didn't say it to me. You know what I mean? I have no idea her intention, but it's for me, like what I feel. So naturally I said it next time to her, and it was all good. But did that make sense? Like, it's really that discontent of like, wow, I'm not living in my truth. Like, I am not David. I'm not like, how do you say, like, I'm not manifesting what I'm trying to accomplish here. Does that make sense? And the same thing happens when you say to yourself, hey, look, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna behave like this, I'm gonna eat like this, I'm gonna think like that, I'm gonna follow this training program. And then you don't act in line with what you're saying, there is a feeling of discontent. And that is because you're not living in your truth.
It's like not, I guess you were feeling that you weren't being authentic. And from my own personal experience, I know that if there's a disconnect between what's going on the inside and what's projecting on the outside, like for me, that leads to psychosis. It has to be consistent inside and out. And that's what I put in the chat.
Exactly. And that's the thing. That's exactly the thing. It's like, you got to be in line with what you are projecting and what you are like experiencing here. And if you don't have people around you that fucking call you out on your bullshit, like, that's why you need people. Like, that's why we're doing the Sunday check-ins. That's why I call you out when it's like, hey, look, what are you doing? Like, yo, toughen up. David fucking cursed me out like a couple of months ago. Because like, I was saying one thing and then I did something else. He's like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, I can't trust you. Like, get your shit straight. And it wasn't a major thing that I did. It's not the point. Point being is that I said X and I did Y. That's the point. And if you don't have people like that around you, like, fucking change the people around you. So change the people around you. I tell you. Fucking elevate your circle or cut your circle. Cut them. Because again, it's living in your truth. Like, we have a friend now, me and David, they've just been acting fucking super weird, super childish. That's on you. I'm not Jesus. I'm not Coach Sebastian for the entire world. That's not who I am. I'm not. Same thing with students. We have students that are disappearing. Listen, that's on you. You obviously don't give a fuck about your health. Like, you wanted to invest this money, you went on this train, now you're not answering in the app, you're not answering on messages. Can't hunt you. Not going to. Some point, you know what I mean? Pick up your phone. You're a grown up. You're an adult. And then, but there is also students that get lost and then come back and own it and say, hey, look, like, I fucked up, but I'm back on track. Like, I want to give this another run. Perfect. Don't even worry about it. Let's restart the whole thing. Don't worry about it. Thank you for coming back. That's awesome. Thanks from you to you that you came back, because you need this. Good job. Now, done next. Let's get this work going. Do some push-ups. You know what I mean? They're like, that's what it is. And it's like, you want to have this. This is why it's so fucking important to have your fuck no. Everybody knows the fuck no list by now. No, I feel like we talk about it all the time. Everybody knows the price list also. Yes, Katja, you know price list and fuck no list? Fuck no list, yes. Price list, no. Okay. What about you, Marianne? You don't know price list. You know price list. Okay, you fuck no list, you don't know.
It's in the Facebook group in the previous webinar, if anyone is curious.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah. Price list is why you are awesome. Why you are awesome. That's the price list. My price list says all types of wild shit, but it's also very, very like tangible things. Like, I think I'm the price because I'm assertive, which is a trait that I really value of myself. I'm friendly. I'm fucking good looking. Like, I'm 6'2". I got a 6-pack. I got a company. but I'm also very in touch with my family. It's all whatever I think, right? Whatever I think what I value of me. And you reprogram yourself. And I think I live in my truth. And I don't always live in my truth, but I know that when I do it, I like myself more. Right? But in order for you to do that, you gotta understand what the fuck is your truth. Right? Like, wild shit has been happening since we came to Kabul. Wild shit has been happening since we came to Kabul. Did I tell you guys I almost get in a fight at the party? No, I didn't tell you that shit. No. Let me see what we got there. And I didn't do nothing. That's the crazy part. You know, let me run over this. What is Anita saying? Just I'm struggling with staying on track with the program because of life challenges. But being real and owning up is what gets me through. Having good people around you who are patient and understanding and holds you accountable at the same time is key. Yes, listen to this one. Having good people around you who are patient, understanding, and at the same time holds you accountable. That is key. Yes. That's a brighter downer. Can somebody write that down? Like wait. Anita, I'm gonna steal that from you. And I'm just gonna be transparent. I will probably not give you any credit. All right, is that cool? I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna talk about that on my Instagram tomorrow. That's it was me who came up with that.
It's all good, coach. It's all good. It's all good.
Are you certain? Perfect. So I was sitting here contemplating life, and then it came to me randomly. Yeah, living in your truth. Listen, there was a friend of mine. I was at a party. A friend of mine was there. A guy grabs her, trying to lift her away. And I don't speak Creole, right? So I'm looking. It's like, it's okay. Is this cool? Is this what we're doing? Like, is this how we're behaving right now? And I was like, taking it easy. I didn't drink that time. So I was like, ease. Then he comes another. Then like I see how his energy is changing. And she leaves, and he comes back. He grabs her again. He leaves. He comes back a third time. We're like, it's okay, cool. We end this now. Stop it. We're stopping. Like enough's enough. Like, what are we doing? Somebody explain to me in English, why is this guy grabbing my friend and fucking lifting her away? What's happening right now? Somebody explain. His friend comes, blah, blah, blah. He starts to swing at me, Mr. Good Looking. You know what I mean? It missed. Didn't touch me. Nothing. Then his friends comes, the whole scene, because he's making a fucking fool out of himself. And I tell him this. It's like, look at you. What are you doing? Like, you're making a fool out of yourself. What is this? Like, you're trying to fight? Like, stop it. Enough. Done. Like, take love. Go away. Like, I'm honestly saying this. I'm honestly like, hey, look, like, I'm not here to fight. Like, trust me, you do not want to fight with me. So take some love here. Ciao. Take some blessings and go your direction. She don't want to go with you. And I don't want to fight. And then he gets crazy. Police ends up coming. Boom. Police ends up coming. Here is where I live in my truth, because he's trying to swing at me. Now, I am cool as a cucumber during this entire situation. Because I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about me. So, but when the police comes, I'm still staying. Until I'm realizing, no, what am I doing? Because situation is no longer threatening my friend. Because the police is here, number one. And on my fuck no list, one of the first thing says, I don't let other people's drama bother me. And right now, the police is here, so now it's just drama. My friend is not in danger anymore. I did this. Peace out. I went back into the VIP and I went back to the party like nothing had happened. Why? Because I lived my truth. Like, I don't got time for this shit. What are we doing? Fighting? It's not what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna fight. Come on. What is this? I live in paradise. I didn't move to paradise to fight people. Come on. What is this? But I didn't move to paradise to let fucking drunk people do whatever they want to women. I can guarantee you that shit. I can guarantee that shit. Maybe, you know what I mean? And that's my truth. But there is a consequence. There could be a consequence to that, but I'm willing to deal with that consequence. You know what I mean? So that is also one of those things. Like, you're gonna live in your truth, though, but there might be some consequences, but I'm willing to take those. To a certain extent. You're not gonna be out to be knocked out by some guy because of a friend. You know what I mean? But no, I think I said it wrong. Like, yeah, I might have been, and then that would have been what it was. But it's like, if I would have this guy, let's say this guy would have knocked me out, right? Let's say we would fight and he knocks me out. I would have owned it because I know I did the right thing. I don't think you treat women like that. Done. No conversation about it.
You would have felt a million times worse if that guy was disrespectful to your friend and you did nothing.
There you go.
I mean, as bad as you would have felt with the drama, you would have felt so much worse had you not done anything and not intervened.
Exactly. So it's like I prioritize my integrity over my fears. And that goes with living in truth, right? And every situation you have, there is an opportunity to do that. Every situation. Would anybody like to add something, a takeaway, a notion, whatever other beautiful words you can say about this that has to do with this subject about living in your truth? Maybe an example where you didn't live in your truth and then you had to deal with X, Y, and Z as a result.
Coach, it's Anita. So I'm my camera's off. I'm sorry because I'm cooking, but this is what I put in the chat, you know, and like I said, I know this is a group and I'm going to be personal, but I'm going through a very nasty divorce right now. But what happened was I lost my identity in becoming a wife and becoming a mother. I mean, I changed my identity a little bit. I added to it, right? But then the things that made me who I was started to fall off. And I started to sacrifice the things that I loved and cared more for everyone and everything else than my own needs and my own desires and my own wants. And so, you know, eventually it caught up to me. And then when I started finding myself again, it's almost like I was unrecognizable to my ex, you know, and it started causing issues. And it's huge. I mean, this is a huge life transition for me. And we have, you know, family and things like that, but it really has taught me a huge lesson and be who you are, be consistent, set your boundaries. And it might change from situation to situation in that you might add a little more of who you are. You might find out a little more about your identity, or you might change. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but you know, becoming a mother added to my identity, becoming a wife added. But I should have never taken away the things that I loved to do that made me who I was, whether it's volunteering, serving, whatever it is, you know, going to the gym, dancing, all of those things. And because it's just it's not worth it. And then you don't know who you are. You don't even recognize yourself, you know, when you get to that point.
Exactly. And that scares you. It's like, wow, like I don't even know who I am. Like, because in here you're one person, but out here you're a different one. It's like people that behave in a certain way online and then you meet in person, they're different. It's like, yo, like that looks like so much work. Like, how do you do that? Like, you're like, nah, you don't want to, right? And then again, like there's a huge lesson in that I think is an evergreen lesson. And thank you for sharing that. And it's a very powerful thing that you're sharing. And a lot of us can relate to it in a macro lesson, right? Or like in a macro view, so to say. Like I never had a family, but I can, you know, at least relate to like, like that thing. I did the same thing with my ex. Like I became another person. Like I forgot who I was. And then when I started being me again, then I was a stranger to the person that I've been with. But then again, you gotta remind yourself, hey, look, like I'm me and I'm the price in my life. Like done. And that it's gonna hurt. You're gonna go through all of the emotion, but hey, if I'm fucking done next, huh? Done next. And it's not like, oh, done with this guy, I'm gonna replace him with another one. But like, nah, it's not, it's about you. It's like I'm done with that person and I'm moving on to the next person. Recreating me, rebuilding a relationship with me. And again, the fun thing with those things is that it's not a line. Like I talked about it the other time, right? It's not like you're walking on this line here and now you're here. Like it's not what it is. It's a circle. And the polar opposite is a circle, and you're so close to becoming the true authentic version of yourself that when you make that little jump over that hurdle, it's gonna be like, wait, what? Like that was it? Really? Like I just had to be honest with me and translate that into the world. That was it. Like that was the key to becoming who I wanted to be. Let's see what do we got here. Is there anything, anybody else? So like, tell us more about this, Anita. So I feel like cut you off there, start ranting. Thank you for sharing. But like, what are some of the tools you've been using to get to where you are now?
So just stepping back into the person that I was, right? That I know who I am. So, things like going to something as simple as going to the gym or going salsa dancing or taking lessons or, my desire to start a school for children who have gone through trauma that do Latin dance, things like that I put aside because, now I'm a mom and I'm a wife and I have all these other things to do. And that has to go on the back burner. And I said, no, I pulled all those things back out. And I said, no, I need to start doing these things because that's who makes me who I am, serving at my church and going back into my community and doing those things who make me who I am. And I think if I had set boundaries from the beginning, all the lessons that I've learned is if I had set boundaries and realized my price list, right? And realized that I am the price and here are the things that make me who I am. If you like it, great. If you don't, peace out, right? So if I had said that from the beginning, then I wouldn't be where I am now, but that's okay. I think that I'm the stronger woman. I have 4 beautiful children who now I'm teaching these, and I'm teaching these things to my children now. Like, no, don't apologize for who you are. Don't compromise who you are. Don't change who you are. That's what makes you you. And and if the person can't handle it, then peace, or that's the same thing in a job, in a school, in a friend circle, whatever. You can apply that anywhere you go.
And that doesn't mean that it's not gonna sting. Like it stings to leave someone behind. That it does sting. Like the first couple of times you cut a friend, it's like, wow, like I didn't like that. I don't like that feeling. But then you're just more cautious entering into the next relationship. It's like, look, like, are we friends or we're not friends? Like I don't do 50-50 anymore. Or I fuck with you or I don't fuck with you. And that's it. Like, and that is very powerful. And I want to also touch a little bit on what you said there, because I think I think this is just a way of expressing, right? But like we say, I want to go back to me. And I don't think that. I don't think so. Because old you, it didn't work. Because old you let boundaries be broken. Old you allowed X, Y, and Z to happen, right? So you are recreating a new version. So it's like, it's a new edition, you know what I mean? And I say that like you can take the same type of example when it comes to training. People start to train and they get injured. And they're like, yeah, but I just want to go back to where I was. They're like, no, that's stupid. Because where you were obviously didn't work. Because where you were gave you an injury. So we need to get you stronger than you were. Right? Like we need to literally recreate a version of you. And that's the beautiful thing. Like it's never too late to reinvent yourself. It's never too late. And it's really just a jump from one day to another. No, done. I don't do this shit. Finito.
I really liked what you said, Anita, about boundaries, especially in families and relationships. Like that is so important, and we get into so much trouble if we don't respect boundaries. And Sebastian, I know you're not a Christian, but the Bible says that familiarity is a sin, and I never understood that. Like, how can being familiar be a sin? But it's all about not respecting people because they're a member of your family or because you're in a close relationship. It's a husband, it's a wife, and you take liberties. And that causes problems. You have to always respect the boundaries, yours as well as the other person's. And treat them as you would treat the CEO of the company that you work for. You shouldn't show that person any less respect because it's your brother, sister, mother, husband, and you get into so much less difficulty that way. And it's a principle I try to honor in my own life because I'm like you, Sebastian. I don't like the drama. I can't handle the drama. And I find that when you respect those boundaries, even a friend that you've known forever, you still don't, there's certain lines that you don't cross. You respect them as an individual. And particularly in a close relationship, you have to respect the boundaries, your own as well as the other person's. So I was so happy when you said that because it's so important.
And I said it took me 45 years to realize that because I come from an Indian background, right? My family is from India. And you talk about cultures. I don't feel like my culture has very good boundaries at
they
all.
They don't. Okay, so my
I
significant
struggle with
other is
that.
from India. No boundaries. You guys have no boundaries.
There is a power to that, and culture is very important. Linda, tell me about but again, from the notorious Conor McGregor, who is one of the all-time best fighters who ever walked the face of the earth. He has a great quote, and he says, "To all the respect to everyone, fuck everyone." It's like that's a tattoo. It's like all the respect to everyone, just fuck everyone. Like I don't have time with my own culture, or like this is what you should do, but shut the fuck up. I'm trying to live my life to the best of my abilities over here. You know what I mean? What you got, Linda?
I wanted to go back to something that Raluca brought up about sacrificing, that when you're in a relationship, sometimes you do have to sacrifice something. And I guess the key is to make sure that whatever it is that you're sacrificing, that it's mutually agreed upon, and that it's something that isn't going to, I guess, isn't going to impair your growth, I guess. Because a lot of times if we have sacrificed things and it has like cost something of ourselves in a way that doesn't cause us to grow. Because I know sometimes we do sacrifice because we expect something to happen, something positive for us. And then sometimes it doesn't happen. So, and I guess that goes back to this idea of, I think something that Diana brought up about, okay, respecting the familiar, that we still have to have respect. And I guess if you do sacrifice something, the other person has respect that you sacrifice something, and that there should be some gain for you for giving whatever it was up. And it's not kind of like, I gave you this, then I expect that, but it's just kind of like when you partner with people or you're in a family, there is a level of expectation of we're going to help each other grow, but I guess it always doesn't happen. And I guess that's when you have to subtract, and like if you're sacrificing too much of yourself, then I guess that's without any kind of gain.
Right, to the point where it's not allowing you to grow, right? If it's not allowing you to grow and it's holding you back, that's when I think, that you're losing yourself.
For sure.
So I have
For sure.
two things. One thing to share about myself, and then another thing just to share with you guys of what Diane said about the familiarity. Such a hard word to say. I sent a link in the group chat. It was something that I've heard a couple of times, and it's from Nikki Giovanni. She was speaking, I forget who she was talking with, but she was speaking about
if I love you, I can't lie to you.
yeah, there you go.
If you love me and you're going off with Maddie, something you love, so what the hell do I care about you? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday says, no. All right, I accept that. Of course you love me, and I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him. I can't treat you. You must. You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch you up because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much for the Black woman to ask of the Black man? Everybody's child.
So that just reminded me of that. And it's just something I think we all just need to take into consideration with the people that we care about, and ourselves as well. I know I'm guilty of doing things like that. You're like, I come home from work, I don't want to be talked to, don't talk to me, I'm tired, this and that. And it's like, well, you didn't treat everybody else out there like that. You put on your best face for them. So just something, obviously, yes, sometimes you do need that, but then just communicate that to whoever it is that you're talking about. So that reminded me, Diane, you reminded me of that video. So I felt like sharing it with you guys. And then I've had a really tough week and weekend dealing with this exact topic. I am a professional dancer. I compete with a dance partner in ballroom, and we are going through a very tough time right now. And just this past week and weekend, I have just been reevaluating and revisiting the past couple of weeks and the things that we've been dealing with. And I understand my part that I'm playing in things, and I'm seeing his side of things. And I personally feel like we're just at the point where we are hurting both each other. And I feel like, and it's tough because this past year, we finally hit, a place where we're finally placing in competitions. People are recognizing us, coaches, and all of these other people, these videographers want to work with us. People are inviting us to their competitions. So we finally reached the place where we want to be. I mean, obviously we want to be top champions, but we're finally breaking the ice. And now it's just getting to the point where and I think that's also obviously a part of it. There's stress that comes with all of those things, but I just feel like we're both just not healthy for each other right now. And it's kind of a tough pill to swallow because of everything. It's like, all right, now to start over with a new partner, new routines, get familiar with the new body, but just, I feel like I'm losing myself. And I've worked so hard to get to the place where I am now, mentally, physically, emotionally. Last year, we actually stopped dancing last year for about 2-3 months. And because I had a breakdown, we just weren't getting along. It was so many things. And I just feel like I'm approaching that place again. And I've worked so hard to rebuild myself, and it just sucks. So I'm currently experiencing these things, but I just know I don't want to go back to that place that I was. I want to continue building on who I currently am right now and get better than what I am. So it's just hard in the moment.
Thank you for sharing that. And it's very powerful what you're saying. It's like you don't want to put a price on your health, right? Because that's essentially what it is. It's like Okay, but if I have 4 bookings per month with this guy, okay, but then I stay. But if I have 2 bookings, okay, but then I don't stay. So it's like, but yeah, but then you're putting a price on your health. Like it's literally what it is, right? What you're saying is, and then that begs the question, it's like, okay, but I prioritized my own health and my happiness more than this fucking career. Like your dancing is gonna hold back your dancing. Like I think that's one of the biggest things we dancers do, is like we let our dance hold back our dance. We fall so in love with the process of like, oh, like I don't want to start restart, like all of this fucking bullshit, right? And it's like, yo, like, just do it. Just do it. You know what's right. You know what's right. And again, it goes back to the whole topic. Like, for how long have you been living in denial of that voice? Now, done next, you can't repair the past, right? So it's better to just focus on the future. But it's an important lesson instead of approaching it of like, yeah, but get up 7 times and fall down 6 or whatever the fuck that saying is. It's like you're approaching it of like, hey, look, like I actually learned something. What was the macro lesson here? That I should not deny that voice. Like if I'm honest with myself, I fucking heard that voice 2 years ago, yet I kept on pushing. Now that was probably needed in order for you to get to where you are and become the person you are today. But like, it's because it's a breakup, right? Like it's almost like a breakup with a partner. Like, you know how much I fucking wish I broke up earlier with my ex-girlfriend, but at the same time, I know I couldn't do it because then I was sitting here like a fucking loser with a bunch of what ifs. Now I know I don't have what ifs because I really went all fucking in. I tried legit everything to fix that shit, but it didn't work. So I'm done. You know what I mean? Like I really went all out on like trying. So there is that counterpart of that dilemma of like, okay, should I bounce now as soon as I hear that voice as a red flag, or should I like really push this thing throughout? And so I know like, no, like I've done it, I did it, and yes, that. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't fucking get that answer, to be honest with you. Like
I think that's the hardest thing, to be honest, that I've also experienced over this past year from working with you, from challenging my own self. Just when do you listen to that voice? Like, you know, a lot of times I think one of the last webinars you've talked about, you're like, even in some of your videos, there was one of the workout videos where you started it off and you were like, I'm gonna let you know a secret. I don't want to work out today, you know? And it's just tough trying to figure out, when do you listen to that voice? I guess it's just, you just have to do it to figure it out. Once you start, you know, sometimes I have those days where I don't want to go and practice. And then I go and I'm like, great, like that was the most productive practice I've had, or the most productive training or workout that I've had. And then sometimes you're in the workout and you're like, this is not, you started, you're like, nope. And it's a tough line to find.
Yeah, for sure. What you think about this, Katya? I saw you could relate to this.
I'm sorry, yes, the microphone. Like everything what you are saying, I can really relate to, and I can feel your struggle that she is so right in that moment, because it's like, yeah, kind of decision. But I honestly don't know what I would do if I would be her. It's
a tough one, no?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It really is. It really is, because I can imagine, or I can feel that like dance is her life, and it's very difficult to find a very good new partner. It's a big struggle, especially for us women. So if she's going to break up with this partner, it may happen that for quite some time she cannot really like follow her path and her dream. But at the same time, yeah, she's not feeling well and herself. And it's also then you cannot do your best within the dancing and private life. So it's a very, very tough decision.
Yeah, right. But then again, it's like, it's really what we're talking about. Is like, okay, but I hear what you're saying, and I think it's a language thing. It's like, but like, I can't follow my path. It's like, yes, you can, because that path that you're walking on, that path seems to fucking suck ass. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck that. I rather, you're walking, you're not walking. You commit to a road, right? And then you're like, oh, like, no, there's water here. What the fuck? Like, there's mud here. It's like, should I go back? Should I go back 10 meters? And then you say, no, fuck it, let me just keep on walking. And then by the end of the road, your feet are just fucked because there's so much dirt. But if you would have just taken a few steps back and just walked around, your feet wouldn't be wet. You know what I mean? Like, I think it could be one of those things, because there's many ways to roam. But I hear what you're saying, Katja, and you have some really valid points. And I think, you with your dancing career also, I think you can relate to what Sahara is going through in more ways than most of us can. What you got, Linda?
Okay, I'm not a dancer, so I don't know.
You need to explain yourself.
But I do have a question about a general question about if you are partnered with somebody and you want to go to the next level. I mean, doesn't your partner share that same goal to go to the next level with dance or with anything? When you're tied to somebody in that way, and I guess is a professional way, and I guess there's also emotional connection too. And it goes back to something that I guess the price list and like, do you share that prize list about becoming like the best dancers you can become with your partner? Because this also goes with marriage too. Like, it has to end when you don't have that same goal of growing together.
I think that's also a part of the issue. I mean, in the beginning, it was me. I was in college, so I tried my best to, we still competed in things, and on competitions, I'd be doing my homework. And he was the one that was like, and I think it just got to the point now, like, he's older than me, so he wants a family, he's dating people now, and I think that's kind of where his mind is at, and I'm out of school now, so I'm like, more focused. So I think our priorities just changed, and it is what it is.
That's it. It doesn't make it easier. Doesn't make it harder. It's just facts, right? Like, you can't be going back to what we spoke about last time, right? Like, abundant people don't get fucking offended by a reality. It's like, hey, look, I want to go there. You want to go? No? Okay. Don't worry about it. Stay awesome. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, but I'm going. I'm willing to sacrifice and fucking walk, to crawl the last bit if I need to.
It's the done next, right?
Yeah.
Done next.
Yeah, no, all right, okay, done next. I'm gonna keep on going with or without you. This train is fucking going without you or with you. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but with the last information she gave, I think it's like a clear answer. Done next.
It sounds so fucking rough when you say that, right? Like, yeah, no, that's done next, just move on. But we all know the deeper meaning behind it. But when you hear it like that, it sounds fucking cruel. Hey, it's fucking done next. Broke up with him. Yeah, whatever, bro. Done next. Keep on. Listen, true story. I am quick fun story to just lighten up the mood a little bit. I'm fucking 17. Had my heart broken first time, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, shit is tough. Shit is tough. Like, I'm a Cancer. I'm fucking emotional. I'm raised with my mom and my sister and my grandma. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking emotional. Go to my father, who is black. You guys have black fathers. You know what I'm talking about. I go, Jesus. And I'm like, hey, dad. Like, yo, listen, like, man, like, me and my girl broke up. Like, it's fucking tough. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to do. He just looks me dead in the eyes. And he says, Like, you don't know my father, but like in Sweden, my father's a fucking legend. Like, he's so funny because he stutters and he tries to really make a point. When he wants to make a point, like my dad starts to stutter, and he calls me Basse. He's like, Basse, 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 Basse. As I always say, the ocean is deep. Just keep on swimming. And then he leaves. It's such an ice cold way of just giving that to a 17-year-old. Like, no tools at all. Like, zero emotional intelligence. Just keep on swimming. Go back to continue with lunch or whatever he was doing. You know, it continues to cut the lawn. You know what I mean? Like, Mo. But there is some truth to it. You know what I mean? Like, that next, like, hey, look, like, I'm fucking underpriced. Just keep on swimming. Now, it's not what I needed at the time. My uncle, however, who was there also, so I tried to go with my dad's little brother. He says, you know what? It's okay to be sad for 24 hours. Do what you need to do, and then get right back on it. That's what I got. Luckily, I had my mom, you know what I mean? Like, so I could fucking manage this. But there is truth to it, right? Like, there is some honest, valid advice there of like, yo, like, the ocean is deep. Keep on swimming, because we have a tendency to think and really like get caught in our bubble. Being is like, oh my God, I don't see anyone else. Will I ever find a dance partner? Yes, you will. Calm your goofy ass down. Don't worry about it. It's like, you know how many times, like, it's the same thing. Like, every time you break up with someone in like a personal relationship, right? It's like, oh my God, I will never find anyone like that. No, I know you will find one that is better, because that's kind of the thing with life, right? Like, you keep on growing. Everyone you meet is fucking better than the previous one. Why? Life, like, that's part of it. Like, that's the journey. You know what I mean? But then you're so caught up in it. It's like, oh my God, I will never find anyone this good. Like, this is it. This is my whole entire fucking reality. It's like, look, you're trying to do a haymaker here. Don't worry about it. You're gonna find the right person. You're the prize.
I think that's the thing to remember too. Like, the same as you said about us wanting to be, like, if we hurt ourselves or whatever happens, you're like, oh, I just want to go back to how I was. No, you don't. You want better than that. So I think that's the thing for us to remind ourselves that, yeah, you're going to lose something for now, but after a while, it's going to be better.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. But
You're part of the discussion.
As someone who did ballroom in college too, like, I really feel for Zahara. Like, finding a partner in it itself, especially when it comes to ballroom, is tough. The ratio from, like, you know, followers to leaders is high, and in many ways ballroom is not, I don't want to, what's the word, progressive or open-minded in having like people who traditionally like aren't in their roles do something different. So like, for example, it's kind of hard for Sahara to find, like, for example, another woman saying like, hey, I want to lead. That can be a little difficult because some competitions won't allow you to do that. And so that kind of limits things. But one thing, and it's just basically
what you mean? What would you mean? What did you mean with the last part? You want to lead,
okay,
Sahara?
so traditionally, when it comes to dancing, the male is the lead and the female's the follow, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Some other dance communities, Latin, but particularly another one I called West Coast Swing, they're kind of getting away with that, where it's like, if you want to lead a dance and compete in that, you can. So like, for example, if I want to go in a competition and I wanted to lead in West Coast Swing, I could do that. And I will be judged alongside my other leaders. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But I didn't understand how that made sense in this context.
In this context, I'm just saying, like, I'm just reiterating that finding a partner.
Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
But it is really important to have the same goals in terms of your partnership. It's much like Erlinda says, it feels like a marriage. It does feel like a relationship. Like my former ballroom partner, he's like a brother to me. We don't compete anymore because I moved back to Houston. But it is very much that. But that being said, Zahara, like, I don't want you to compromise your values, your goals, just so that you could have somebody to dance with. And the other thing too, and this is something I learned also from my own ballroom coach, was just like, you can still dance. You may not be competing, but you can do solo things. You can do line dance things. You can teach, and you can get your name out there too. It just may be a little different, but that's what I want you to know. As someone who used to dance ballroom, like, I cannot emphasize how important it is to still keep in mind, like, what is the thing that you want to achieve? Like, I truly believe you can be an amazing rhythm dancer. I saw your Instagram, you got all the talent for it. I don't want you to compromise that because you and your partners have different goals in lives and different goals and dance in that. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Give this whole group a round of applause. God damn it. This whole group is fantastic. Like
Thanks, guys, for the therapy session.
Come on, guys. This is like Dr. Phil up in this bitch. This is
I was
perfect.
gonna say, what a great group of people you surrounded
Come on.
yourself with, Sebastian.
Come
Amazing.
on. You know what I
Absolutely
mean?
amazing people.
I'm the price, and then that happens. That happens if you have. Let me just take a little break and talk a little bit about myself, all right? Let me turn this into a Sebastian thing. No, but really good one. Really nice one. Really good conversations today. Powerful. Really, really good.
Anita, I know you're cooking, but I hope I didn't cut you off. It's just that when you said that your family was Indian, something in my head exploded because I know
I'm just saying,
it's a whole different level.
Yeah, I think with, you know, you have to also think about our cultural backgrounds and like the environments we grew up in, and that I was really hard on myself for a long time for losing myself. But, you know, I had to be kind to myself and go back and say, well, that's all you knew. So now you know better. So do better, right? So that's where I'm at now. But no, you didn't interrupt me.
Absolutely. And my grandfather actually is Indian. My grandmother's Black. My grandfather is Indian. So I grew up actually knowing quite a bit about the culture. And it's, in some ways, it's very performance based. And if you don't perform up to a certain level, I mean, you know, you can really end up with very serious self-esteem issues. It can be very, very difficult to be your authentic self in that culture because the expectations are so strong, and you don't defy those expectations without paying a price. So I really understand where you're coming from, and you're very courageous what you're doing to save yourself, and your children are gonna reap the benefits.
Facts.
But great group. This is like the best,
yeah.
Sebastian.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Since you started doing it, this was amazing today.
Yeah, today was a good one. I thought it was going to be a quick one. It was the longest one in a while. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Marianne, Sarah, Cassie, Raluca, Katja, Linda, Diane. Can we settle once and for all how we pronounce your name? Because I say different every time. Sometimes I say Diane, sometimes I say Diane, sometimes I say Diana. Like, I'm dyslexic, so I feel I can ask this question without it.
No, it is. It's just plain old Diane. I was named after an actress, Diane Carroll, and that's how she spelled her name. So the H is silent, but it's just plain old garden variety Diane.
Diane, it's fucking cool though. I like that name. All right, familia. Is anybody wanna touch in on something, or we out? Going once.
Yeah,
Going
just
twice.
a quick thing. Just want to chip in and say I think it's important to reroute yourself quicker. Like, don't stay on a path that you maybe think it's not good for you for like 20 years or so, you know? Just try to reroute yourself quicker if you think that something is wrong.
Nah, I think that's very well said. Could you give an example of that?
Yeah, for example, if you don't know if your dance partner is the right one or your life partner is the right one, and just don't stay in the same situations for 20 years thinking it will improve. Like, of course, you can do your own stuff to improve, especially in relationships. I think it's important to not just go out of the door when the first problem arrives, but I think also it's different from the example of not having motivations to work out, because this is a thing that you have with yourself, and then you push yourself and you have this consequence for yourself, but with somebody else, this other person has to do their own part. So I think
I
it's
think
a
you're very
different
right.
example with this voice, because yeah, you can do your own part, or you can tell the other person what you think, but if they don't do their part, then it's not the right thing.
Exactly, and I think that what you're saying is very well, is very good way of closing the circle, because what it all comes down to is living your truth. This is what has been the topic of so far. It's like, hey, look, I'm trying to be a fucking world champion. Are you in or not? If you say no, don't worry about it. Like, I'm trying to build over here, you know what I mean? Like, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm doing my absolute best to accomplish. This is my truth. What about you? Like, can we build this together? No, we cannot. Okay, then that's cool, right? Instead of, again, prolonging it, like, damn, and like, and if they're saying it to top things up, it's like, hey, look, it took me 19 years thinking things would change. But if the other person is not on the same page as you, or have a desire to understand, it will stop you from growing and moving forward in your purpose. I'm gonna read that shit again because that's fucking powerful. It took me 19 years thinking things would change, but if the other person is not on the same page or have a desire to understand, it will stop you from growing and moving forward in your purpose. That's beautiful, very powerful words. Familia, that's it. I'm gonna go to bed. I love you guys a lot. Blessings and blessings and blessings by dancers for dancers as always, and I see you in 2 weeks. Okay, if you could go into our Facebook group and say, hey, look, this webinar fucking awesome, see you in 2 weeks, so we get more quality people, because there are more of us. Yes, ciao Pascal, talk to you soon, take care.